Let's admit it. We all have offended God. We have violated the commands of God. We have broken the laws of God. We all have rebelled against God. Therefore, we are all guilty. Consider these verses. I'd like to ask our creative team to slowly make their way here. Romans 3:23. For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Say with me, all. Psalms 51:5. Surely I was sinful at birth, sinful from the time my mother conceived me. Ecclesiastes 7:20. Surely there is not a righteous man on earth who does good and never sins. Isaiah 53:6. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. Say with me, all. All. That includes you who is sitting on your chair. 1 John 1:10 says, if we claim we have not sinned, we make him out to be a liar, and his word has no place in our lives. This afternoon, I would like to show you the sins that are common to men. I would like to show you this afternoon how sin works in our lives, how man falls into sin. Let me call on our creative team. Guys, what you see in front is a representation of the sins that is common to many of us. The sins of the heart, the sins of the flesh, the sins of the tongue, the sins of the body. You look at them, you are familiar with them. Some of you are friends with them. Some of you have known them. At one point in your life, you had an encounter with this sin. They are your favorite sins. They are your darling sins. They are your secret sins. They are your repeated, recurring sins. You remember when you're down? When you remember when you're feeling low? How you turn to sin? They call them the feel-good sin. They call it the pleasure sin. They call it the escape sin. And look at them. Notice, they have this cover in the spaces. Why is sin covered? Because that is the nature of sin. Sin disguises itself. You look at them, they don't look abhorrent. They look fine. They look harmless. They look smooth. They look cool. They look entertaining. But mind you, beware. Because inside of them is so much ugliness. Inside of them is pure evil. Inside of them is danger. That is why they are covered. Because that is how sin operates. They deceive you. You know, sin is a traitor. It promises happiness, but produces emptiness. And just like any other sin, they dance over you. They sway. They entice you. They hover over you until they get you. And that is the nature of sin. They seduce you. They entertain you. They beckon at you until you begin to be attracted to them. Until you begin to draw closer to them. They work their magic on you. And you begin to dance. You begin to flirt with sin. And that is the beginning of your total downfall. Friends, sin entertains. As you can see, they have the moves. And they have the swing. And they have the rhythm. And they have the beat. Let me show you the sins that are common to us. The sins of the thoughts. Lust, sexual fantasizing, unbelief, midnight thoughts, the times when you are alone, the times when you feel the urge to satisfy the lust of the mind, the times when you sexually fantasize over someone. And sadly, many of us entertain dirty thoughts. We dwell on ungodly and impure thoughts. In fact, we soak ourselves with fantasies. And we fill our minds with garbage until we are saturated by evil. The next is the sin of the tongue. You know, the tongue is meant to worship and glorify God. But we use it for lying, swearing, backstabbing, gossip, dirty jokes, green jokes, dirty speech. We spew negativity on people. We use our tongue to bully people. We enjoy trash talk, sarcasm, insults, demeaning words comes out of us. Such things are detestable to God. The next, the sins of the senses. Any sins committed by the senses, the sight, the hearing, the touch, the smell. These are the sins of envy, materialism, pornography. You have to understand the eyes and the ears are the windows of our soul. And demons constantly bombard us with images and sounds that are evil in nature. What are the entertainment that you enjoy when you are alone? What are the movies and the TV shows that you watch when you are alone? What are the websites and the pages that you look into when you are alone? What are the music that you listen to? All these things can affect your senses and can lead you to sin. The next, the sin of the heart. Pride, envy, hate, love of the world, the love of money, idolatry, jealousy, selfishness, unforgiveness, comparison, insecurity, discontent. You know, the heart is the wellspring of life. The Bible tells us that the heart is deceitful above all things. Understand, that if the enemy's got your heart, if the enemy's got your heart, he's got you. That is why the Bible warns us, guard your heart. Guard your heart, because the heart is deceitful above all things. Guard your heart, because the heart is the wellspring of life. The next is the sin of the body. Adultery, drunkenness, addictions, fornications, desecrating the body. You know that the body is meant to be the temple of the Holy Spirit, the temple of the living God. But we defile our body and use it for the enemy's purpose. We give in to lust. We give in to sensual pleasure. You know, the sins of the body, they appeal to the flesh. But this is a dangerous sin because it is addictive and it is destructive. And those who indulge in it will eventually be destroyed. The next, the sins of the action. Murder, stealing, fighting, greed, overindulgence, immorality, sorcery, atheism, abortion, revenge. The urge to meet a need through dishonest means. You know, these are the sins that when you commit them, it will not only hurt you, but also hurt the people around you. These are the sins that manifest rebellion towards God. Next is the sin of the soul. Ungodly soul ties. They creep unknowingly. Ungodly covenants, impurity, homosexuality. Satan is after your soul. You have to be very careful of soul ties. There are relationships that can destroy you. Single people, you listen. Careful, be careful of relationships. There are relationships that can defile you, that can destroy your devotion and commitment to God. The married people, careful of your soul ties. Because there are relationships that can destroy your marriage and your family. Lastly, the sin of commission. Self-righteousness. Self-sufficiency. Self-indulgence. What we ought not to do, we do again and again instead. The battle rages within us. There is pride. There is selfishness. There is greed. And it leads us to commit ungodly acts. And we lose our dependence on God. You know, the sin of commission reflects the love of the self. It's always I, me, mine, the power of I. Entitlement mentality. I deserve this. I want this. I need this. And when we think we are good, when we think we are sufficient, we lose our need for God. So there you have it, my friends. The sins that we commonly fall into. And look at them. This is how they work. You watch them do their thing. They will entertain you at first. They will amuse you at first. They will wow you at first. They will be friends with you at first. They will court you. They will seduce you. They look so fun. They look so cool. But you know what? These sins, they're dangerous. Some of you know what I'm telling you about. These are the sins that you justify about. These are the sins that people do not know about you. Because many of us, we are so good at looking holy and good on the outward. But God knows. And God sees. Every small and hidden sin, God knows and God sees. And today, He will expose those sins and He will bring conviction and real change in our lives. The Bible clearly warns us. Sin is crouching at your door. Do not let it have you. Sin is knocking at your door, eager to control you. Do not give in to sin. Did you learn something this afternoon?